Hey, it's Drew. Thanks for hanging with me today. So I'm in the garage. It's late February and it's probably about 50 degrees. I'm in zone 7A, southeastern Pennsylvania, and I'm continuing my winter sowing project for the season. I did some winter sowing in the fall of last year. I did a few jugs in January and a few more in February, and now I'm adding on to the list. And so I'm just going to take you through everything that I do to prepare a jug and to put seeds in a jug. I don't have anything listed anywhere. Everybody has their own preferences, and we'll get it started. First thing I always make sure I do is have a nice cold one ready. So I have this beautiful piece right here ready for me to go. Everybody should have their beverage of choice, I think. So here we go. One of the seeds that we're doing today is from Eden Brothers. This is blanket flower, burgundy color. I really do like the blanket flower. I planted a few last year, and they were pretty successful. So we're going to do blanket flower this year, continuing, and we'll do reveal videos and stuff like that, and I'll take you through the garden as the season progresses, and you'll see how everything came out. Hopefully everything comes out. Usually they do. This is the jug that I'm going to use for this one example. It's a translucent milk jug, fresh, no problem. I save them, friends and relatives save them for me, and this is really perfect. And it's large enough where you can actually put quite a bit in here. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab my drill bit, and what I like to do, and this might be different from some, but I like to heat the drill bit a little bit. What that does is that helps get through the plastic a little bit better for me. So that's kind of how I do it. So I just take the drill and I'll slap it into the end, and just like that, it's popping nice holes. These are for drainage on the bottom. So some drainage for when the rain and the snow, no snow, comes through. And then I'll do the same on top. Let me just heat my drill bit again, just for a few seconds, get it hot, because then now we're going to put in, I guess these are air holes, but also the rain goes in too, and sometimes I have to hose them down myself with a hose. So they're air holes and liquid goes in, so I try to get a good bit in there. So nice holes around the top, holes on the bottom. My next step is going to be to label it before I do anything else, because it's easier to write as it is right now. So I'm going to label it blanket flower, and I'm going to put the date is February, let's see, I think it's the 25th or 26th, but I'll go either way. So label that. And now the next step is going to be to cut the jug. So I have a cutter, real easy. Same idea, I do heat it. It just makes for an easier tool, like I said. So I'm just going to heat the tip of that. I'm going to start on one side of the handle, and I'm just going to, really just like I'm drawing a pencil, this top blade, it just goes through like butter. Again, scissors are good, so that's a nice way to do it as well. I'm coming all the way, almost all the way around, and I'm going to stop at the other side of the handle, because now I have a hinge. Okay, so now it's hinged, and because after all is said and done, we're going to tape this closed. But right now we got a nice hinge, nice opening at the bottom for soil, 3 to 4 inches, and then nice enough room on top for the leaf growth, again 3, 4, 5 inches there. So I'm going to load this with soil next. The soil that I have is just regular potting soil that you buy at the big box store. I add perlite to mine for better drainage. So I'm just going to slap some in here real quick. It's moistened soil. It's not dry and it's not soaked. It's moistened soil. Just easier to work with when you have it moistened up. Alright, so I have that patted down, and then one of the old gum containers, I ended up making a little tool to pat things down. The stick out of there. Okay. Alright, so I think next I'm going to take these gloves off now that my tool working is over and not worried. So now I have a poker stick, so I'm going to make little holes in here, and I'll move the camera so you can see it. I'll poke little holes in just for surface, just for seed to soil. The instructions say planting depth 1 inch. That's pretty deep for a seed. You normally don't see them. And let me move the camera. So there's the, hopefully you can see that, that's the inside, and then the seeds I have, they look like little feathers. Kind of neat. So I'm just going to drop these around into the little holes that they're not all making it, so, but I'm going to cover them anyway. Because it calls for 1 inch, I'm probably going to give it a nice covering of soil then. A lot of people like to just scatter their seeds all over, and I did that the first year, and it was rough. Separating is fine, and it's part of it, but there was so many. It was very difficult. So I just plant what I want now. Give them away to family and friends, or I put them in the garden. All right, so I lied. So I am going to get my hands dirty. So I'm going to drop some soil on top because it calls for 1 inch. Okay. And then I've already written a tag for blanket flower, and I put that inside because I like to have 2 methods of identification. That's very common in the winter sowing hobby. So now I'm closing it, and I have regular duct tape. Tape is a preference. This duct tape is pretty good. Some people use painter's tape because it's appealing to take off. It's easier to take off. Some people use box tape, but you really need good box tape because box tape tends to fall apart easy. But I just use duct tape, and I don't really think taping is a big issue for me. I just think, you know, as long as it stays closed. So I'm just going to wrap it around. And that's it. Lid stays off, no lid on top. Water and air go through the top. And I actually made a water bottle, took a regular size water bottle, poked holes in the lid, and I use that as my watering can sometimes to get in there. I'll show that on another video because I don't have it here. And so that's it. So it's labeled inside, outside, it's got the date on it. It has the holes on the bottom, holes on the top. We're ready to go. I'm going to keep going and make a few more of these, but hey, once again, if you have any questions or comments, please add them. And again, thanks for hanging. Be good.